then you have to wear your hobby in the living room?
Just breaking it in, you know, it's always a little pinchy in the gooey bag at first, so.
That's gonna be a no for me, dog. Nah. Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about something a little different from what I usually talk about, more tutorial based. I get a lot of questions about how I scale helmets, armor in general, etc. And I came up with a new method that I've been testing out recently, and I think it works pretty well. So for those of you who may not have a Windows computer or just don't want to spend the money on something like ArmorSmith, I've been testing a scaling method with Blender that is pretty beginner level stuff that I think I can teach you guys, and you guys can apply to your own armor builds. For reference, I've been using it on my Mark 6 Iron Man legs, which there will be a new video about that soon. Finally getting into printing this stuff and showing you guys more about that. But the scaling on this suit so far is absolutely perfect, and I'll get into that in just a second when we get into like actually measuring your body for this this method. But this is going to be really nice when I actually get these up and running. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so here's my Mark 6 file in Blender. What you're gonna wanna do is import all of your files into Blender. So it's in like, you know, a format of, you know, like an actual Iron Man suit standing there, like somebody's wearing it, just so you get a feel of like what the body proportions are. To do this, you're gonna wanna go to import and then STL, assuming your files are STLs, which they most likely are. So you're gonna import your STLs, you know, go through this whole process. I already have mine imported, so I don't have to do that. So now we have all this. So assuming that you've done that, we have a full suit, or, you know, a portion of a suit if you're only working on like the legs or something. It still works with standalone body parts, but I prefer to do it this way. So for this example, we're gonna be using the legs just because I've already printed the legs, I've already tested the method on the legs themselves. So it's easier for me to explain and just show you the way I did it. But this applies for every single piece of the suit. I have not tested it on the helmet, and I don't know if I'd recommend it for the helmet just because that's a really intricate piece of the suit. Don't know if that's a good thing to try, but if you want to try it, but I haven't tried it yet. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've turned off everything in this environment except for the legs, just because that's what we're focusing on right now. So you can see, you know, they're hollow, you have all this space. And so what we're gonna do is we're basically gonna create a cylinder to measure the space inside of these legs. So we could scale the suit based on these cylinders, which represent our legs. So what I would recommend first doing is, can I move my face? Let me move my face really quick. Hold on. All right, I have moved my face. Okay, so we're gonna go to the units right here, which should be under this tab right here. And you're gonna wanna change it to whatever units you primarily use. So for me, it was inches. You can use feet, you know, all these different measurements. You could change metric, you know, a lot of people use millimeters. Whatever you want to use, but for this example, I'm using inches, so just keep that in mind. And so I've already actually done this. I can show you what it looks like really quick. So you can see the cylinders in here. I just did a cylinder for the top, and then I also did a cylinder around this knee part. You can see it kind of comes out a little bit. That's just, you know, poor spacing. And on my part right here, you can just shift it a little bit and it'll be fine. But you get the gist. It's a general measurement. One thing to keep in mind before you do this is just keep in mind the thickness of these parts that you're scaling, just because if you do scale just slightly over, and if you're making this really skin tight, you're gonna lose room due to the thickness of whatever part you're printing. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, you can tell right here what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna show you this really quick before I get into it. You can see the width. If you go to this little tool right here, you can just drag it and you can measure. So it's about 8.2 inches for the thigh, the top of the thigh. And so let me walk you through on how to get those measurements in the first place, and then I'll show you how to add these cylinders. Okay, cool. Let's go over there. All right, so you're gonna wanna get yourself a tape measure, you know, flexible one like this, and you're just gonna measure your body. So what I usually do is I wear clothing that I know I'm gonna be wearing underneath the suit or whatever I'm printing. So, you know, leggings, something that gives you like a nice form-fitting measurement. So then I'm gonna start with the top of my thigh first. I'm just gonna measure the thickest part, thick with 2 C's. And we got about 25 inches circumference. I'm just gonna show you how to work with this measurement, and then you can apply this method to literally any body part, literally whatever. I'm not gonna go through like the whole measurement of my leg, but you know, you can work with this. All right, so now back to Blender. We have our measurement, or one of our measurements, but this is just an example, as I said. So we have our measurement for the top of the thigh. So now we're gonna apply that measurement and we're gonna scale the leg accordingly. First thing you're gonna do is a basic math equation. You have the circumference, which is 25 inches. So you divide that by 3.14, you get the diameter. And so we're gonna be using the diameter for the measurement of the thigh. Granted, I know body parts aren't like an exact circle, but it's like, it's better than a guesstimate, and it's decently accurate. So we're gonna go with it. 25 divided by 3.14, that's about 8 inches. Which was basically the measurement I showed you earlier. So now I'm gonna show you how to add an actual cylinder to represent your thigh. So you're gonna go up here, and you do add, mesh, and cylinder. It should be right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make it a little bit thinner. Okay, so you're gonna measure it. Ooh, I have a lot of measurements, hold on. All right, so you're gonna go over to this measure tool right here, and we're gonna just, you know, drag it. So right now it's about 14.4 inches. Obviously we need to scale it down. So what I do, I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but this is just the way I know how to do it. I scale it, and I check it again. So now we're closer to 9 inches. All right, so we're basically at the measurement right now. However, if you rotate this, it's a nasty shape. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're just gonna grab this red one and just try to get it about the same length. You can switch views, and it's about the same size. So we're probably fine. So you're just gonna drag this shape, and you're gonna line it up with your top piece of your thigh. So basically, yeah, you're just lining it up. So mine's kind of a bad example because my legs are already scaled. Obviously, yours aren't gonna be a perfect fit like this. Yours might be smaller, yours might be bigger. So you're gonna select your thigh, and you're gonna scale it. You can scale it uniformly, which is what this circle is right here, and see how the whole thing gets bigger. Or you can just scale it this way. You can scale it height-wise, or you can scale it like, it all depends on how you're trying to scale it. You can scale it this way too, if you have really, really giant thighs for some reason. Yeah, so what you're gonna wanna do though, is when you do this, you're gonna wanna select the entire leg at the same time, because if you're scaling this and you're scaling it this way, and you're not adjusting everything else down here, it's not gonna line up properly. So you're gonna wanna select all of this. You know, you get the gist, and you're gonna wanna scale it all when it's selected like that. Yeah, once you get more measurements of your leg, you can put one here, you can put one up here. I put one on the calf, and then at the ankle as well. That's pretty much what I leave it at, because anything else is like over measuring. But this has given me a really, really awesome result so far, and I can actually show you in a second how it fits on me, and just, you know, proof that this method works. I also did it on my cod piece, and everything fits amazingly. I actually left it like about a ½ inch to an inch of gap room so I could fit the abs inside of the cod piece. And it fits perfectly. So if you're familiar enough with Blender and it's not like a total out in left field move for you to do this in Blender, then I totally recommend this over the guess and check method. Obviously, nothing else against Armor Smith at all. I've had a Mac for a really long time, so this is something I taught myself how to do just because Armor Smith isn't available on Mac. Without further ado, I'm gonna show you how this fits on my legs, and then we'll wrap this thing up, and then you guys can try this on your own prints and let me know how it works. So yeah, like I said, this thigh piece fits amazingly. It's my right thigh. I'll show you really quick. Look at that. Actually got a little bit of wiggle room in there. This is like my best scaled thigh so far. It fits amazingly. Yeah, this is my my testament, I guess, to my new scaling method. Hopefully, I actually don't know if it's my method. I don't know if anybody's done this before, but I don't know. I'm teaching you it anyway, so yeah. So hopefully this is a helpful tutorial for those of you who needed it. Let me know if there's other stuff you want to see related to this. If you have questions, anything, leave them in the comments and I'll try to respond as best as I can. In other news though, I have some time to work on the suit again now, so you're gonna see some updates pretty soon, especially on this dome. Got some really cool stuff coming with this. If this worked for you, drop a like, or just drop a like anyway. Got a lot more content coming. I'm gonna try to really, really grow my YouTube this year. So yeah. I would close my helmet now, but it's not plugged in, so yeah. Bye-bye.